Okay, so let's get ready as we usually do. So check surroundings, grab as much support as you need. We are still using the tiles today, and then we might use like a little bit of a weight today as well. But so just grab the bands and maybe a weight as well. Okay, so let's do what we usually do. So with what we said before, we're still pretty much trying to move all the joints in the spine. So you're still gonna imagine trying to move every part. So sometimes we get stuck in certain areas and we only move maybe the neck or maybe just a lower back. So can we just kind of tuck our chin in, okay, and then try to move the upper back a little bit, kind of rounding it back. Okay, try to move almost the lower middle part a little more. Okay, and try to almost suck in the stomach a little bit. Okay, and do the opposite way. Try to kind of almost pull your tailbone up a little bit first. Okay, and then push the stomach forward, bring the chest up, and then the neck. Okay, and then opposite again. So it will be, you can think of just trying to move every segment of the spine a little bit at a time. Okay, I'm trying to curve the entire spine, kind of like a banana shape this way. Okay, and then try to bend it the opposite way into like a banana facing the other way. Okay, so we'll do about 5 times. So that's quarters number 4. It might actually be easier if we're doing this in what we call 4 points, so where our hands are kind of anchored there. But we'll make do with this one now. Okay, and coming back. Okay, so let's try to bend like the classic stretch where we try to bend a little bit. So kind of breathing in and coming back. Okay, let's do about 5 times per side. Okay, and number 3. 4. And 5. Okay, let's go the other way. Kind of pay attention to, can we get a gentle curve from our lower back up towards the head even. Okay, 4 and 5. Okay, back to the neck. Okay, so let's try to just kind of move our head forward and back a little bit. Okay, so we're looking at the same level, so I'm not looking up or looking down. I'm just trying to push my head back and maybe kind of push my head forward, keeping the rest of my body kind of relaxed. Okay, a little harder. Can I move my head almost a little bit side to side? So this was a little harder to do. I usually have to have my finger as a target. Okay, and don't worry about too much if you have trouble doing it. I can't really do it well either. Okay, but let's go into looking left and right a little bit. Okay, using our eyes as well. So move our eyeballs towards where we're trying to turn. Okay, and moving the entire trunk as we usually do. Okay, and exaggerating the rotation. So let me just grab a chair real quick. Grab a chair as well. So I think we did with this one before as well. So what we're gonna do is gonna stick your bum out a little bit, and you're just gonna put your hand in front. So let me do this in this angle. So I'm sticking my bum out. Okay, what this is called threading a needle almost. So you're gonna thread your hand into the armpit. Okay, and then pulling it back out. Okay, my hips are staying in the same place. Okay, but I'm rotating through the spine and moving through the shoulders as well. So you should like to breathe out. Okay, and then breathing in. If you want, you can also go a little lower if you want to. Okay, but try to keep it back long as well. So even if you're here, make sure you're not running it back. Okay, let's call this number 4. Okay, last one. Okay, and let's switch hands. Okay, so same idea. Okay, chest tall, back straight pretty much. Okay, so breathing out as you thread the needle, through your underneath the other arm. Okay, and okay, and going back out. Okay, and let's just move our shoulders a little more. Okay, so focus on pulling back and then same thing on the other direction. Okay, and let's do kind of a gentle circle the neck. If anything bothers you, don't go too far. So you can just do smaller circles. Try to get your chest up a little bit as well. Okay, and let's move the rest of the back. So we're just going to cross the hands and we're going to focus on the cross itself. So you can imagine drawing circles with the spines, but see if you can not move the hips so much. You're just going to draw a circle. You can think of, you can also focus on the chest bone. Your goal is just to move that chest bone all the way around a little bit. You don't have to go too far. Okay, so just do about maybe 2 to 3 times per direction. Okay, and then moving through the hips. So this time my upper body is just relaxed. Okay, now we're trying to move the hips around our legs or our feet. Once again, just 2 to 3 times each side. Okay, and let's move the arms a little more. So we're gonna have the hands just relax on the side. Okay, we're just gonna circle about 3 times in one direction. Okay, and then 3 times the other direction. Okay, keeping our shoulders relaxed away from the ears. We're gonna lift the arms up. Okay, and we'll do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3. Other way, 1, 2, 3. Okay, kind of out to the side, maybe a little lower. So still keeping the shoulders relaxed, but try to draw the arms a little further back behind us. So not in front, a little further back. Shoulders away from the ears. 1, 2, 3. Other way, 1, 2, 3. Inwards. 1, 2, 3. Other way, 3, 2, 1. Okay, same thing on the side. 1, 2, 3. Other way, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and lastly, let's go up. Thumbs facing backwards. 1, 2, 3. So keeping our elbows straight, moving through the shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Okay, same thing on the other side. Thumb facing backwards. 1, 2, 3. Other way. 3, 2, 1. Okay, shaking it out. We do pretty much the same thing with the hips. So standing kind of on one leg. Okay, let's draw a circle right beneath us. And we're just going to go 3 circles one way, 3 circles the other way. Okay, but drawing right underneath us. Okay, and then drawing circles in front of us. 1, 2, 3, other way, 3, 2, 1. Okay, drawing a circle out to the side. Okay, a little bit backwards even. 2, 3, other way, 3, 2, 1. The opposite might be getting a little tight. Okay, last one, just going back, keeping the body kind of still straight. 1, squeezing the hip muscle. 2, 3, other way, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and the same thing on the other leg. Okay, so straight underneath us first. 1, 2, 3, and then 3, 2, 1. Straight in front. 1, try to keep our chest tall still. 2, shoulders relaxed. 2, 3, other way. 3, 2, 1. Okay, out to the side. 1, 2, 3, other way. 3, 2, 1. Okay, lastly, just behind us. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and 3, 2, 1. Okay, shake them out. Okay, back to the arms, just kind of open and close. Okay, open and palm as we go down, making a little bit of a fist as we come up. Okay, rotating in and out. Moving the hands and fingers as well. Okay, draw circles, as big of a circle as we can. And another way. And then just moving each finger. Okay, to the knee, we're just going to move front to back, let someone in. Okay, so forward and back first, still staying tall, just extend and bend the knee. Moving side to side a little bit. Okay, and then rotating, stirring a part of our foot. Okay, and then moving just the ankles. Okay, and then trying to move our toes a little bit. Okay, same thing on the other side. So still leg knee a little high up. Just straighten and bend the knee. Side to side. Forgot this one on our leg, but try to point our heel kind of in, and then point your heel in and out. So we're rotating a little bit of the lower leg. Okay, and then circle. Moving through the hips as well. Okay, moving just through the ankles. Okay, and lastly, just move our toes a little bit. Okay, so a little bit more joint stuff today. Now we're just going into the aerobics stuff. Okay, so if you have a towel, feel free to grab it. If not, just move your arms along. But let's do this for 10 minutes as we usually do. Okay, so still warming up by just marching on the spot first. Okay, in the meantime, we'll also move the shoulders a little bit. So let's just kind of throw it up and down a little bit. Okay, slowly see if you can just bring your elbows a little bit higher. Okay, we're just going to grab the towel, answer the towels a little bit more. Okay, we're just going to see if you can bring up and down behind us. Okay, so if it's too much for your shoulders, just go to where you feel the tightness. Or if your towel is really short, you might not be able to go all the way around. Okay, and this one, let's just try to kind of just get the hand behind us first, and then pull your shoulders apart. Okay, we'll keep marching in the meantime. Okay, and just kind of pull back and relax. Okay, and if that feels okay for you, if there's no pain, okay, see if you can just swing your towel almost behind us. Don't worry about how high it goes. If it's painful, just don't push it. Okay, but see if you can swing in, maybe behind the head on top, okay, and then behind the back and below. So still take it very gentle. Okay, and same thing maybe on the other side. So even if you can just get your hand straight behind, that's okay. Okay, and see if you can go behind the head on the other way. Okay, so it's not just the arms, it's actually a little rotation of the shoulders as well. Okay, so now a little bit harder. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to get the elbows up, and we can increase the spacing of the legs if we want to. Okay, and you're just going to draw circles with the elbows. Okay, so just try to get your elbows a little further in, up, to the side, and down. Okay, and let's try to make it a little more complicated. So when you have it all the way out, then you just swing the towel. Okay, and then just kind of flip it up. Okay, so draw a half circle of the elbows. Okay, and then flick it out and all the way around. Okay, so if you break it down even further, we just down, flip it up. Okay, and continue. Okay, and if you feel comfortable, see if you can kind of just do this in a more continuous motion. Okay, so let's do maybe about 10 seconds. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so It's also just kind of bringing, it's kind of like almost like a short arm circle, but it involves the kind of the elbows as well. Holding an option is not a bad idea either, because when you hold something, your shoulder stabilizes as well. So compared to this, it might be a little more really more contraction, which is how we do things normally anyway. Usually we hold something. Anyway, so other side. So starting off, so still, let's just do marching. If you want, you can go a little faster, okay? Or you can just focus on the arms, okay? But let's try to just draw circles with the elbows. Okay, still staying within our pain-free range. Okay, and when you're ready, you need to flick the towel out with rest your arms as your elbows comes out. Okay, bring it back up. Half circle, or I guess it's a quarter circle rather. Go out. Okay, and then coming back up. Okay, so in 2 steps, it looks like this. So elbow, a quarter circle, all the way around. Elbows out, hands goes all the way around. Okay, and when you combine all together, it looks something like this. Okay, so once again, let's try about 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and let's go in the center. Okay, so let's start to speed up maybe a little bit more. Okay, moving your hands a little bit. Okay, so let's quicken the pace, and we'll do this for 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, now when you add the hands, we're going to just swing up and down. Okay, and we're going to go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now when you add the legs going up as well, so when you just keep marching, but then spread the legs and then squat down a little bit. Okay, and we'll hold here 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So even the quads might be getting a little tight. Okay, so let's take a little bit of a break. Okay, still moving our limbs a little bit. Okay, so let's go back to the shoulders a little bit. Let's go to single arm, holding the towel in single arm as well. Okay, so what we're gonna do is that we're gonna swing kind of diagonally this way, okay, and then bring it back up the other way. So it will look something like this. Okay, while keeping our legs moving a little bit, or you can just move it anyway. Okay, so imagine trying to reach that corner. Okay, and then just coming back. Okay, next we're just going to stop the feet a little bit. Okay, so let's start the feet for a second. We're just going to focus on this motion. So turn the feet a little bit. Okay, and if you want, you can start going a little bit faster. You can think of you just hitting a ball almost, and then downswing, and coming back up. Okay, so let's do 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now we add one more step to it. So as you come up, you can take a step towards the other way, and then step back and come back. Okay, so just one more step in. If this leg, if it's pointing out, it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, now one more step. You think we can still add one more to it? It's getting can be a little confusing. I'm going to confuse myself as well. What we're going to do, it's going to come up. Actually, let's switch to our arms first. So let's do the same thing on our side, so that we don't complicate things. Okay, but see if you can swing down and come up. Your phone falling off. Okay, and when you're ready, what we're going to do is going to take a step. Definitely not as smooth for me or familiar for me on my left arm. Okay, so our heart rate should be back down a little bit. Okay, so let's go back, try and bring it back a little bit. So once again, let's try to increase the pace a little bit first. And we're gonna do this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Same sequence as before. We're gonna add the hands. Feet and hands moving quickly together. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We're going to add the squatting stance. 10. So still trying to move, shift your way back and forth. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, and let's still keep moving, but taking it a little bit easier for a second. Okay, so we're almost half more minutes. Okay, so let's just keep it simple. Okay, so we're gonna start off. We're gonna just learn a more powerful hip hinge for the almost a cool down part. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna stop the feet for a second. Okay, and we're just gonna swing the towel behind our head. Okay, and then between our legs. Okay, and on the downswing, see if you can just push the butt back a little bit more. So last class we talked about we're experimenting with pulling the towel up, waving the towel around using your hands and versus pulling of the body. So for the last part, see if you can almost stop your hands from moving. So if you can try to just have it closer to your chest, see if you can still swing the towel up. Okay, and see how high you can get the towel. So once you get used to it, it's easier if you have your arms straight. Okay, but see if you can just imagine your arms almost like the towel. So the towel doesn't really move around. See if you can just relax your arms. Okay, and just kind of almost push through the towel with your hips. So my arms are not really pulling, but I'm throwing the towel around with my hips. So, and then let's stop for a second. And that's 10 minutes. Good job, everyone. So our hips is pretty much the biggest muscle in our body. So when we say lift your legs, not your arms and not your back, we really mean that we want to use the muscles in the lower body. So this is one way to really exaggerate that. So when you're pulling something up to a body or pulling something up instead of pulling your arms, it's actually more powerful and easier if you use the legs. So if you can get used to being able to move a towel with just your hips and your arms completely relaxed, then you can also translate that to kind of lifting something like a weight with just your lower body instead of trying to lift something with the shoulders, which is weaker. So you're less likely to get injured if you can use the hips. Okay, so good job, everyone. Let's get ready for the lifting parts. Okay, so maybe take a little break first, get some water. Okay, so I think our arms are probably more tired probably today. So let's start off the lower body. So I'm going to grab a chair. Okay, so hips is important, but is this muscle here. So the hips, what it does is that it pulls the the body forward. But it's also assisted by this muscle here, so the hamstring. So it does bend the knee, okay, but it also helps to extend the hip as well. So what we're gonna do today is just focus on the hamstring for the lower body. So you're gonna grab the band, just the middle of the band around the back of the ankles. I like to twist it a few times, just so the tails stay together. And then I'm just going to step on it. Just drop on the floor and step on it. Okay, I'm gonna be holding on a chair. I'm gonna lean forward just a tad bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring the heel up until I feel the back of the thigh. So be careful with this. People do tend to cramp up. But let's try and aim for, once again, doesn't exactly matter how many times you do, but work till that you only have about 3 to 5 repetitions left. So you can at most do 3 to 5 more times. So let's just do it at usual pace. So it'll be 3. So just slowly up, slowly down. 4, 5. Okay, important. Just be careful that you're not leading someone in front of you. Otherwise, you're going to feel it more in the front of the hips instead of behind. So you want the knees to be roughly in the same place as you bring the heel up. So let's call this number 6. 7. Oh, I haven't done this in a while, and I can already feel my thighs wanting to cramp up. So I did have to take it a little easier. 9. Okay, so if you've got more left in you, you could do more. I'm going to stick to just 10 for myself, at least for this round. Okay, and when you're ready, we can do the same thing on the other side. So still a bit of the band behind the thighs, give it a few twists so it stays together. Stepping on the tail with your other leg, knees roughly in the same place. Leaning, usually I like to lean just a little forward. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Not as bad for me on this side, but still, I can definitely sense it once you cramp up. So I'm going to stick to 12. Okay, once again, do more or do less. As long as we kind of push it to closer to what we call closer to failure. So failure is when we can't even lift it a single time more. That can help to stimulate. So as long as you put in kind of a moderate effort, then your muscles would react pretty much or get stimulated. Okay, so next one, same. Let's work on it just to keep it simple. Work on the same muscle on the upper body. So you can, if you think of this as your leg, the muscles in front bends it. So this one, depending on how long your band is, you can either step in the middle and do it this way, or if it's too short, or if the band is way too tight, you can sit down, and that gives you a little more room to work with. Okay, so for this one, we can do 2 together. If you're sitting down, just make sure your back is kind of straight and you're not shrugging your shoulders. So you're just crushing 2 walnuts in your elbows. Okay, and then open it back up. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so just because I reached 15 already and I'm still not quite tired, I might want to grip the band a little bit tighter for the next round. So if you can get to 15 and you're still not tired, probably get a heavier band. Okay, so let's give our muscles a little bit of rest first. We're just gonna go into, actually, let's do the whole body first. So we're gonna use the balance as more of a rest. So for this one, we work on the front, back of the leg, when we work on the front a little bit. So this one we do the 2 ways. You can either just go into like a squat, or if you have a wall, you can just kind of lean against the wall. So it's a combination thing again. So what we're doing is that on the lower body, we're just going to be either doing a wall, doing a wall sit, or we're just sitting with the back of the wall. If you don't have a wall, you can access, you can just sit squatting, the squat as well. The hands, you can just hold any sort of weight. Don't make it too heavy. And what we're going to do is just we're going to go side to side a little bit. Okay, so most of the arms, the legs are working. But as you turn side to side, you might just feel a little bit of contraction in the abdominal areas, just as it's change direction. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this for, let's aim for 20 seconds. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. If you go a little faster, it's probably a little bit harder on the abdominal muscles as well. 9, 8. But if you go fast, don't go too big of a motion. Just shoulders to shoulders distance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, probably lean forward to get ourselves back up. So probably much harder on the legs than the upper body. That's okay. We'll just we can change it up from time to time. Okay, so for the balance one, so as usual, make sure you have as much support as you need to. So we're gonna start off, we're just gonna shift our weight front to back. So you can have your feet a little close together first, and you're just gonna work on, let's try shifting your weight towards the heels, towards the toes, and then towards the heels. So my feet are still flat on the ground, but I can feel more pressure on my toes. Okay, I can feel more pressure on my heels. Okay, when you feel comfortable, see if you can go up more on your toes. Okay, and try and lift up the toes by leaning forward a little bit. So just kind of rocking forward and back. Okay, so that shouldn't be too bad for everyone. If it's too easy for you, let's change it up. So let's try to have, instead of your feet together, let's try to have one foot a little more further in front than the other. Okay, so same idea. See if you can shift your weight towards the front leg. Okay, shift your weight towards the back leg. And if you feel comfortable, see if you can go more up on your toes. Okay, and then more towards the heels. Okay, and if you still feel too easy, instead of your feet side by side, have your feet more in a straight line. Okay, same idea. You're still shifting your weight towards the front of your front toes. Okay, more towards the heel of the back foot. Okay, and if you feel comfortable, all the way up onto your toes. Okay, and all the way up onto your heels. Okay, and you can do the same thing on the other side. So play around. You can start off once again, feet together, feet, what we call feet staggered, okay, or feet in line. Okay, so see which one is easier, which one is harder. Might be better on one side compared to the other. And it's not a bad idea if you shift around a little bit. It's kind of practice, though. If you start losing your balance, you just practice for your body to can I regain control, pretty much. Okay, and then just shake everything out first. And we're just going to repeat these 4 exercises one more time. Okay, so first one, the hamstring first. So still a bit of the band around the ankles. Twist it a few times. Step on it. Okay, so I'm going to actually step a little bit, give myself more band to work with, so they don't crap up. Slightly lean forward, and just point the heel up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that side for me today is definitely a little rusty. 8, 9, So one of the reasons why it's very easy to cramp up here is that this is a very shortened position. So the muscles, as you strain your leg, your muscles get kind of longer. When you bend, it gets shorter. So with the band, the band is easiest when it is at the bottom, and as you lengthen the band, it gets harder. So we're challenging this muscle the hardest when it's up here, pretty much. But it's also the weakest position as well because it's so short. So it's kind of similar to we're stronger here compared to here. So usually somewhere in the middle, actually. So when this muscle is very short, and while the band is the tightest, it's actually quite challenging for that in that position. Okay, so let's still repeat on our side. Okay. So slowly up, slowly down. 1. Pay attention to what the rest of your body is doing. 2. We don't want to be tenser than we need to be. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this side of it a little bit better. So my good side, we do a little more. This side, I'm starting to cramp up. Don't do as much. Okay, same kind of exercise for the arms. I'm going to do it standing this time just because the first one was a little bit easy for me. So I'm going to make it harder by pretty much stretching the band. Okay, but still, good position. Okay, slowly up, slowly down. 1, 2. Another way I can make it harder is that I can choose not to completely relax. 3. So I'm going to drop it maybe a quarter way, and I still can feel the band pulling me. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so definitely can start feeling a little more tired this time compared to before for myself. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so now I can feel maybe if I push it, I can probably do 3 more reps. I'm going to stop. So I'm going to stop there. So this is putting muscles to work for longer, where you don't completely relax. It also tends to trap the blood inside as well. So it creates what we call more metabolic stress. So there's more kind of waste trapped inside muscle, and that can kind of stimulate muscle growth a little better as well. Okay, so let's go back to the squatting one. So I'm actually going to try without the weight and see how that feels. So I'm just going to, yes, this is actually a little bit harder, I find. If you just move a little bit faster, shorter distance. Okay, so we're still going to aim for 20 seconds. So let's call this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so it's kind of similar to, it's the same principle. So when we're moving a little faster, the muscles doesn't have the chance to rest compared to before where we're moving a little slower. There's almost a little more of a pause. So I can actually feel a little more of that, I guess, sore feeling going with that going a little bit faster. Okay, so balance, let's switch it up a little bit. Let's do side to side as well. So this one, feet maybe a little bit closer together first. Probably have chairs maybe on either side. Okay, so play around with how you balance yourself. So we can move the upper body, just upper body. Okay, if we keep the upper body still, then we can't move as far. But you can feel the weight shifting from one side to side. Okay, now experiment. So if I need to reach a little bit further, what can I do? So same thing, we can kind of bend at the trunk. So you can tell our belly button doesn't really go our way. So we fall when our center of mass goes further than the base. So if we do this, you can definitely feel ourselves falling that way. Okay, so one way to reach further is by bending. Another way is to, of course, get a little bit of counter weight. So you can try to see if you can shift your weight, at least kick up one leg and try to reach a little further. So probably the chair should be on this side actually. So if we do fall with somewhere to catch us with, like now. Okay, and you can kind of play around, even do it slowly. So shifting our weight, reach the limit, bend sideways. Okay, and finally reach, kick out the opposite leg. Okay, so it's kind of just being more aware of what our body is doing. So same on the other side. So we can shift side to side with the entire, or the more controlling the ankles rather. Okay, if we want to go, go to our limit. If we want to go further, we can bend at the trunk a little bit more. Okay, if we still want to go further, we can kick up that other leg. Okay, and just control on the way back. Okay, so kind of just explore, see what are different ways you can kind of control your balance side to side. You can also play around with going in circles, so combining forward and back. You can play around with reaching around. You can kind of reach up all the way around. You can just see where your limit is almost. So balance, training balance, we do want to reach towards our limits a little bit. So once again, if it's not difficult, your body's not going to train too much. Also, even if you start to lose your balance, you're still practicing how to recover. So it could be stepping, it could be pulling other stuff with the trunk, but you're still practicing pretty much. Okay, so shake it out. And then let's go into just more stretching now. So I think this last might be on the shoulder side. That's okay. So let's go back to the legs. So just how you usually stretch again with the hamstrings, which is the muscle we used to pull our heel up before. Okay, so still leaning forward. If the floor is slippery, hold on to the chair. Okay, just hang out here for a little longer. Okay, so now we're going to press a heel into the ground. So without moving the rest of the body, I'm going to lightly, maybe just 30 to 50% maximum strength. You're going to push the heel onto the ground and you should feel this tightening, okay? Because we engage in the same muscle as what we try to stretch. So lightly press the heel into the ground, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and relax. Okay, to see if you can go a little deeper into the stretch. Okay, I'm just going to hold here. Okay, and let's switch legs. So same thing, I'm going to just hang out here for maybe 15 to 30 seconds. Okay, and same thing, lightly press your heel or dig your heel into the ground. And keep digging for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and just try to relax and see if you can sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. And still, once again, holding for 15 to 30 seconds. Okay, and just coming back out. Okay, so since we're seated, usual hip stretch. So two directions. One is just pulling, this angle's a little better maybe, pulling your hip, your knee into the opposite shoulder and feeling a stretch on the side of your hips. Okay, and opposite. Okay, so just lightly push your knee towards the floor, feeling it more, maybe just almost like within the joint itself. Deep breath in and out. Okay, and do the same thing on the other side. Keep pulling in first. Okay, and then opposite. Be more careful with this one. Okay, and shake it out. Okay, and let's stand up first. Actually, you know what? Let's do a little different one today. So sorry, go back to sitting there. Let's stretch it inside a little bit. So what we're gonna do is that you still gonna straighten out one leg, okay? But instead of straight forward, you're gonna straighten it to the side. Okay? And what you're gonna do is you're still gonna lean forward, and instead of feeling it close to the underneath the leg, you should feel it almost closer to the, I guess, the inside of your thighs. Okay, so we're just gonna hang out here for a little bit. Okay, and let's do the same thing on the other side. So still kicking out the other leg, but more to the side. You can adjust how you're sitting so it's more comfortable. Okay, and then lean forward. It's actually kind of uncomfortable on the underneath my heel on the straight leg. Might be better if I do this on carpet. Okay, and let's stretch out. So now we stand up and let's stretch out the front. So legs at least hip width apart. One leg forward, one leg back. Okay, lift the front of your hips up, or you can think of pulling your tailbone down towards the floor, and then pushing your hips forward until you feel stretched more in the front. Try to make sure your hips are facing forward and both of your feet are facing forward. Okay, and same thing on the other side. Same thing. Pull your tailbone down, like a finger pulling your belt buckle up. And then pushing your hips forward. Keeping everything square to the front. Your back heel can come off the ground. Okay, and try to take a deep breath in and out. Okay, let's go to just a usual shoulder stretch for now. So reaching across, pulling into our chest. Same thing that way. Okay, so let's try a new one. This time we use a towel, or you can use your resistant band. So you can just put one hand behind the back holding the towel. Okay, and the other hand, you can just grab the back of the towel. Okay, so you're going to use the bottom hand to just try to pull one side down a little bit more. So it probably might feel a little bit more of a stretch here. Could be in your shoulders as well. You tighten that area as well. Okay, let's try to do the opposite. So try to pull your bottom hand up using the top arm. You can kind of use your head to help anchor the towel down if you want to. Okay, so still take deep breaths in and out. If you want, you can even just go back and forth a little bit. Okay, but let's switch to the other side. So other arm up. I'm just using my bottom arm to pull down. If you keep the bottom arm straight, it's probably easier to pull. So that's part of safety lifting or safety using a strength as well. So when our arms are straight, we're kind of putting the load on our skeleton instead of our arm muscles. So a lot of times when we're doing something strenuous, we want to make use of our frame or make use of our skeleton more than just trying to use our arm. So if my arm is bent, I'm just pushing down with just the muscles. Whereas if my arm is straight, I can kind of push my entire shoulder down. I can even lean into it a little bit. And those are some strategies to make it easier to lift things, I guess. Okay, so other way around. Okay, so same idea. It's kind of more difficult if I keep my top arm bent, but if I can straighten it out a little bit more, then I'm almost just resting on my skeleton structure. Okay, or you can anchor it to my head a little bit. Okay, and coming back on. Okay, so last one, let's stretch to the front of the chest as well. So kind of pull this way, pull this way, pull that way. Now we do the last one where you're trying to open up. So this one with the wall, you're gonna stand just close to the wall, entire body close to the wall. One hand up the wall, and you're just gonna turn away from those fingers. Your hip can even be resting on the wall. Doesn't matter so much. Yeah, just switch sides whenever you want. This will also stretch out kind of the bicep area, which is the one where we're doing this. You should feel it in the front of the upper arm. Okay, last one. Just kind of tilt your head, reach into the floor, reach into your pockets. So still deep breaths in and out. Okay, when you're ready, just switch over to the other side. So still trying to reach into the pocket. Okay, just shake everything out. One last prayer stretch. Okay, and that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for coming, everyone. See everyone next week. Hope the snowstorm is not too bad in the coming days. But stay safe. Bye bye. No problem. Bye.